Good morning friends, welcome back. Now we'll learn what is network topology. First we'll try to understand what is network topology. Network topology is basically the structure of the network and how each component in the network is connected to others are defined by the network topology. So just to understand how each and every component is connected, that defines the network topology. Following are the various topology currently in use: bus topology, ring topology, star topology, mesh topology, tree topology, and there could be hybrid topology, which is nothing but a combination of one or two of these topologies. Now we will see each and every one of these topologies, understand the advantages and disadvantages also. Now let us move to the first one, bus topology. You can see in the figure, every computer and network device is connected to a single cable. This is a single cable. So every computer or maybe a network device is connected to a single cable in a bus topology network. So basically this is a linear topology having exactly two terminals. So the first one, second one, last one is a very simple topology. To understand its advantages, installation is very simple. It utilizes very less cabling when compared to other topologies. We'll understand that. When it comes to disadvantages, difficulty in reconfiguration and isolating faults. So where the fault is existing, that becomes difficult to identify in such a bus topology. In a bus, malfunctioning of a cable or break interrupts all the communication. That is a straightforward understanding, right? So every computer or device is directly connected to a single cable. So any interruption in this hub cable or center cable will interrupt the entire network. Let us move to understand what is ring topology. So the names are given as such how they appear. So it's a form of ring. The computers and network devices, everything are connected in a ring form. So device 1 to device 6. So by looking into this, we can understand that the last device is again connected to the first device. So these are the characteristics, and we also can understand that anything that flows in a ring format, any communication, any information that flows in a ring format, and there is no connectivity between 1 and 3, 1 and 4, 1 and 5 and 1 and 6. So there should be a sequence to be followed while sending any communication. So we'll understand how whether this becomes an advantage or disadvantage. So as said, each and every device has exactly two neighbors. A signal is passed along the ring in one direction. That's what we have already seen. Now understand the advantages. Data transmission is relatively straightforward, we discussed, because packets only move in one direction, right? So they are not moving in the other direction. There is no requirement for any central controller. There is no hub here if you look into this, and easy installation and reconfiguration. When it comes to disadvantages, in any unidirectional ring, a data pocket is nothing but information must traverse through all the nodes. So here how many nodes we have? 1 2 3 4 5. So every time that data communication has to pass through these many number. For example, there are 6, it could be more, right? It cannot override any of these and directly pass on to device 5. That is the main disadvantages. And one more disadvantage is to send the information, to send the communication, to send the data, every computer must be on. That is a main disadvantage. So let us move to the next topology, which is called star topology. Just don't look at the text, and just looking at the figure itself we can identify many things. Now you can see that all the devices are connected to a central hub. So central hub will be the core and will also be an expensive matter, right? So it communicates at a time with n number of devices that are attached, and every device can directly send information to hub, and it doesn't have any disadvantage like information has passed on to every computer. Now let us try to understand the text. Each device in star topology has dedicated point to point link to central controller that we discussed. Now look at advantages. It is looking at this itself, we can understand that we can easily attach and detach any device. That is an advantage. Simple to set up, install and configure, and it is very easy to identify any malfunctioning and isolate that particular device, because each device is independent here, and less expensive than the mesh topology we discuss in the next slide. Disadvantages: nodes attached to the hub switch, or this is concentrator, whatever you call, is failed if they fail. Because of the expense of the hubs, we discussed this is an expensive thing, right? It is more expensive than linear bus topologies. And one more thing, more cable is required, and too much dependency on the hub. Those becomes the disadvantages. Now let us move to mesh topology. By looking at the figure itself, we can see that every node or every device or every computer is connected to each one in the entire network. So there is a dedicated point-to-point connectivity in this mesh topology. Exclusively transport data between two device links. Let us understand the advantages. Data can be sent from multiple devices at the same time, because every device is dedicatedly connected to another device. Even if one of the connection fails, there will be a backup. As a result, data will not be missed or unaffected. And physical boundaries prevent other users to gaining access to messages. So only these computers are connected and no other computer can get connected. Point-to-point links makes fault transmission and fault isolation very easy. So isolating the faulty one becomes easy. And the disadvantage coming to the amount of cabling and the number of I/O ports, means input-output ports that are necessary, are high. The sheer bulk wiring can greater than the available space can accommodate. That would be a disadvantages. Difficult to install and reconfigure. Let us move to the next topology, which is called tree topology. It is a hierarchical structure. Generally the hierarchy what we see in any organization, something like it would be connected. Nodes in a tree are connected to the central hub. It has a root node. So let us say device 1, this is a CEO of a company. Then under him there may be chief operational officer and chief finance officer. There are 2 officers, and under each officer there are different general managers and all these things. So in the same way, we can see there is a root node which is connected to all the other nodes, producing an hierarchy. And n number of star tree topologies can be easily connected using star networks, star topology. Let us look into advantages. Network expansion is both possible and simple in this. So it's a hierarchy, and it's go on having more branches and adding to it, and the entire network can be partitioned into pieces, that is star networks that we discussed here. The number of star networks is connected via either bus in tree topology. Other segments are unaffected if one particular segment is damaged. So this doesn't have any connectivity, but this has a connectivity, the root node. Coming to disadvantage, largely on the same thing like first what we have seen, the main disadvantages of these are all the systems are largely dependent on the main bus cable because of its basic structure, and if it fails, the entire network is handicapped. Maintenance becomes challenging as we keep on adding more number of branches under the trees. So